What's up, guys? David Barnett here, Tour Junkies. It's TJ After Dark for the Safeway Open 2019. If you're watching this, you are truly a golf addict, and for that, we commend you. Thank you.
We love you. We're a big fans of
most people don't care. They just want to watch golf.
During
they just want to watch the NFL.
season. Yeah.
But give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Go ahead and give us a nice comment, if you will. Apparently, all the haters have quit watching, too, because we don't have all the hate comments anymore either. So that's been good. That's been nice. But we're here. It's a Safeway Open. There's money to be had. You know, we say it all the time. If you're betting on the NFL, good for you. Keep doing that. But meanwhile, we're just over here hitting 150-1 bets, 60-1 bets last week. I mean, I don't know what you're doing, but we're here. We're here for it. Pat, you hit Sebastian Munoz last week at 60-1. Talked him up on the podcast. I don't think you talked about him on DraftKings on TJ After Dark, but
I did not. But
that's why I got to listen to the podcast.
Yeah. We can't cover it all in this 15 minutes that we got right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did hit it. So, and you hit your big one last week.
Why don't you go ahead and hit us with a very quick course rundown of the host site for the Safeway Open and maybe some key stats you're looking at.
Yeah, so, I mean, here we are this week in Napa, California, Napa Valley. That's why we have a good field, by the way. We got some decent players. These guys like wine, and they like good wine. And
you're in the
like
wine cellar yourself right now, actually.
I'm in the wine cellar sitting here, and look, they like a good bottle of wine, and that's why you got some good players in this event. So I think that's important, you know. This is a fun one to watch. We are at Silverado Resort and Spa. This is the North course that they're going to play this week. It is a par 72 playing just over 7,100 yards, so not that long when it comes to tour standards. Full 144-player event. POA greens this week, which we typically see on the West Coast, and they're going to be running pretty quick. I think that is going to be important. There's a lot of undulation on these greens, so you want to look at guys who putt well on POA and who putt well on these quick greens. I think it's definitely still going to be a scoring week. You got to hit fairways out here. There's a lot of dog legs. I do think you could kind of lean a little bit towards bombers, but it's still important to hit these fairways or at least get it close. I mean, the rough isn't all that bad or whatever, but you know the key is going to be being aggressive into these greens. You've got to be aggressive. Strokes gained approach is a key stat for me this week. Obviously, I always look at course history and recent form, but I think strokes gained approach, and I think just the guys right now who are really scoring well are going to play, are going to really just eat up this course. So it should be a fun week. I'm looking forward to it. I like that we have a good field for the event. We got guys like JT in the field. Phil Mickelson has sucked, but he's still at least in the field, and he's a big name, somebody to look out for. We got some Hideki in here, and we got your guys. We got your web.com or Corn Ferry guys who've been playing well that are also in the field. So it's a good tournament to bet and also to play in DraftKings as well as far as DFS is concerned.
Dude, have you seen a picture of Phil lately? Like, not like 2 weeks ago lately, like this week lately. Have you seen him? He is trim. Dude is looking good.
Probably doctored.
It's not, man. Like, for the first time that I can remember, my wife looked at a picture of Phil Mickelson and was like, well, damn. And I don't blame her. Like, he's looking good. He's looking svelte. Speaking of that,
is that why you told me you were in the gym today? Like, the first time you told me you were in the gym today.
No, Phil.
I can't remember when you've told me that before. Is it because your wife was talking about Phil Mickelson?
No, actually, she started talking about Phil tonight after I went to the gym.
I'm just sure.
Anyway, let's get into some things that we disagree about, and then we're going to end it with some sportsbook picks that we like over on DK Sportsbook, which has some very scrumptious numbers, I will say. I was looking at the numbers.
I feel
They're
like
very delicious.
That's the sweet spot is the DK Sportsbook. I mean, I don't know about the disagreement as far as the pod's concerned,
yeah,
because there wasn't a whole lot of that. But I feel like we should spend a little more time on the sportsbook side of things.
Apparently, the guy at DK Sportsbook setting the PGA lines is just like, nobody's paying any attention to this anyway.
Yeah,
everybody cares about the Bears-Redskins tonight. I'm just gonna.
So guess what? Take advantage of that.
Take advantage of that guy that's sitting up there in his dungeon in Boston. You know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah, he's listening right now. He doesn't care about golf, but he's screwed up all the lines.
Yeah. No, actually, they're not screwed up, but they're favorable. They're just good lines.
They're good lines. Yeah. I agree.
Basically, I don't know. Like you mentioned Adam Scott in the podcast, and I don't know. I just don't. We haven't seen Adam Scott play since Eastlake at the Tour Championship, so it's been a month. And he doesn't normally play this event. He's never played this event. It's not one that he's circled on his schedule and said he wants to get in and do it. But obviously we know that with this new wraparound schedule, that being 11 events deep now, guys have got to play an event here to not be so far behind the FedEx Cup standings going into January that they can't make up the ground. So that's why you see a lot of big names out here, and Adam Scott's one of them. But, I'm sure he likes wine, but Napa's never made it on his schedule. And now he's here. He is a good ball striker, I know that, and he did have a good season last year. But I'm just not willing to pay the price tag of Adam Scott at 10-7. I mentioned on the podcast I like Justin Thomas a lot. I'm willing to pay up for him at 11-6. You can't go wrong with Sung J M, although I think he'll be pretty chalky. So if I'm in that range, that's who I want to take. It's definitely not Adam Scott, who I haven't seen in a month and who's never found a reason to play this event before. So. What say you?
Well, here's the thing. I like his form. I mean, you look at it after the Tour Championship, we haven't seen him that much. So what? I mean, that's when everybody takes a break anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, you look at the stats. He's top. He's 6th in ball striking, 4th in strokes gained approach. He's 28th off the tee. He's 2nd in birdie or better percentage, which I do think is important. You've got to be able to score out on this course. So I just think Adam Scott, when you get him at a price of 10-7, he just people just tend to be off of him when he's one of the higher priced guys in an event. So I think you're probably going to get him a little bit lower owned in tournaments. So I like Adam Scott. Switching gears a little bit, you talk about like a fade. On the show, you talked about Patrick Cantlay. I don't know if he was like your official fade. I think Mark Leishman was your official fade.
Yeah.
But Cantlay, I don't know if you should just totally cross him out this week. You mentioned fading him. That you were kind of leaning towards fading him. And I just don't know. 11-2, whatever. That's probably a right price for him. We've seen him play incredibly well this year. He checks all the boxes except for maybe driving accuracy and slow play. But other than that, I mean, I think Cantlay this is a solid course for him. And so I really question why you would actually even think of fading him. I don't think the ownership's going to be that high either for him.
Well, I don't know about that. Cantlay's always pretty chalky, no matter what. But, I mean, again, it comes down to just your choice in this range, right? In the 10K range, I'd rather eat the chalk with Sung J M or play Justin Thomas. So, for me, that's you can't play them all up here. And I think that just – it's really just a preference. I mean, everybody knows how much I love Patrick Cantlay. I'm a huge fan of everything Patrick Cantlay does. But this week I just for $400 more I like Justin Thomas in this range. In every single stat category that I looked at, off the tee, approach, greens and regulation, Justin Thomas outpaces Patrick Cantlay in the last 24 rounds. Now Patrick Cantlay's a great ball striker for sure, but it's just a matter of choice. You can't play them all. So I'm going M and JT in this top tier.
Okay, let me ask you this, because we didn't talk about this at all on the pod, and I think it is at least somewhat worth conversing about. And that's Bryson DeChambeau. I want to get your thoughts on Bryson.
Well,
before we get into some bets, I
told everybody to fade him at the Greenbrier, and what he do? He missed the cut. So Bryson does not. the upside is not been great since July. I mean, missed the cut at the Open, 48th at the WGC. In the playoffs, I mean, the 12th at the Tour Championship. That's the top third of the field. That's not great. He's not been delivering the upside that you expect when you pay that price for Bryson. Will he be low owned in tournaments? Probably, yeah. But I mean, I think at that point I'd almost rather have Molinari, who I think is also going to be low owned, who just played really well on the European Tour just last week.
He just had a top 15 finish. People aren't going to be on him because he really hasn't had the greatest of years. I was actually kind of hoping you were going to go in that direction because I think that if you're looking at these two guys and you're seeing DeChambeau right there, who tends to be I wouldn't say popular. I think he's still going to be low owned, but I think Molinari is a very interesting GPP play this week in that range.
Well, the last guy I got to bring up to you down there in the 7K range. I mean, I think the 7K range has actually got some really nice plays here. We mentioned Dylan Fratelli, who I know we both like. I mentioned Harold Varner, but you like Troy Merritt at $7,700, and I can't get with that. I mean, now he's played this event every year the last 5 years. Last year he did finish fourth, but in those 5 years. He's done it mainly with a putter. His ball striking at this golf course has been terrible. His ball striking the last 24 rounds has been pretty poor as well. He's 92nd in strokes gained off the tee. He's a short knocking guy. Doesn't hit it very far. Approach play hasn't been great either. Greens in regulation over the last 24 rounds, he's 73rd in this field. I don't get the Troy Merritt love when you've got Fratelli, when you've got HV3, you got Vaughn Taylor down there at 7,600. I'd rather have. There's a lot of guys. I mean, I was on Troy Merritt a little bit earlier this year, but that was when he was in the low sevens. I don't know about the Troy Merritt play. Can't get with it.
Well, I don't know where you're getting your numbers from, but
I'm looking at the last 24 rounds.
Okay, I stretched it. All right, so I stretched it out 12 more rounds. Actually, I put it in 36.
Yeah, you make
rounds.
the numbers say whatever you want them to say, Pat. But I mean, now we're talking long, like a while ago. I mean, 36 rounds is a long time ago.
Every stat that I've given in this show and that I gave on the podcast was 36 rounds, and there's a reason I did it.
Well, that's piss poor.
No, I feel like you can go out a little bit further when we get into where there's a little bit.
That's a long way.
There's a gap in the season after these guys take a little bit of a break. So I think that's important too because we're not Troy Merritt.
It's their last rounds. I mean, you're talking 9 tournaments ago for him.
Troy Merritt played. He last played. Where did he play?
BMW.
In the BMW. So I don't know. I mean, like you need to stretch it out and get a little bit more of a sample size, I think. And so for Troy Merritt, he's 25th in ball striking. He's 12th in strokes gained approach. So I don't know where you're coming up with your god awful numbers. And then he's top 20 in the field in birdie or better percentage. And I think Troy Merritt's a guy that nobody ever wants to play. They don't play him, but he's a extremely solid player. And you look at the course history here. T4 last year. He made the cut the year before that, then the top 15 back in 2017. So I think he's a good play, and he's had an extremely solid year. You look at his last 2 starts, he was 43rd at the BMW. It's Troy Merritt, and he was in contention the week before that at the Northern Trust at T12. If not for a few blow-up holes, he might could have won that damn tournament.
The BMW is 70 players.
I know, but what I'm focusing on is T12 at the Northern Trust, where he could have won if not for a few blow-up holes, where he just kind of screwed the pooch and just sucks. But I think he makes a great play. We're talking about tournament plays right here. Troy Merritt definitely fits the bill here at 77.
Do you know how far you have to go to get to 36 rounds on Troy Merritt's game?
I don't care. I think
you have to go to April to the RBC Heritage.
So? What does that mean?
That's not recent form. Like, that doesn't give you any indication of recent play. Like, I don't even remember, like, how was your golf? How different was your golf game in April? You don't even remember because that's been so freaking long ago.
What is that? What do you even? I don't even know what you're saying. Like, what does that even
saying
make a
it's
difference?
not. I'm saying, like, to me, 36 rounds is too far to stretch it out when you're looking at ball striking and you're looking at recent form.
No,
so you don't think
April?
You don't think April is too far?
No, I don't. No, I don't. You're just so stupid and I'm so smart. My name's David Barnett. I think I'm so smart. You have the worst laugh too. It's so annoying. I'm so smart. My name's David Barnett.
Oh man, this is what TJ After Dark is all about, people. This is what it's all about. Let's get
smart. What's your next smart statement that you got, David, that everybody's going to love? Everybody's going to love David's next smart statement.
I think it's time to move on to DK Sportsbook. What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, go.
Oh my goodness gracious me. All right, shortest odds I'm going are Sung J M 28-1. That's a good number. I've seen Sung J at 22
hey,
and
by the way, everybody, this comes from the guy who never plays. I'm too ballsy to play anything less than 50-1 odds or whatever. But guess what? I'm going to start with the 28-1 odd guy.
I mean, he's the only one I have less than 50. But I mean, every now and then I got to have a pass. It's a strong field for a fall event, and Sung Jae's just freaking killing it. And I want him to win so bad now. I just watching him in the playoff last week, it just makes me want him to win even more. So I want to have a little piece of it at 28-1. That's all I'm saying. And the value is there on DK Sportsbook because I've seen him at a lot shorter odds than 28-1. Then I'm jumping up to the two guys I've already mentioned, Fratelli and HV3, both at 70-1. And then I'm going with Robbie Shelton at 110-1, the Alabama product who almost won the Greenbrier. And finally, I'm going to go with Johnny Vegas at 110-1. If you look back on this event, most guys that have won this event in the last few years in that 60 to 80 range or maybe even less, not a whole lot of triple-digit winners, unlike last year or last week when we had the Sanderson Farms. You had a lot of triple-digit winners. But I think Johnny Vegas, he's coming off of baby swag. He just had a baby. He hits it a long way, so he can score and take advantage of this golf course. He's played here before. He's got a history here, so I like him. And then I'm going to give you a top 10 bet that's kind of out of nowhere. But it's a 45-1 top 10 bet, and he's a Korn Ferry grad, Sebastian Kaplan. He's a great player out of Arkansas. Bomber on the Korn Ferry Tour, checks the box in greens and regulation, made his first 2 cuts on the PGA Tour. So I like him at a top 10 bet, 45-1 for a top 10 bet on Sebastian Kaplan. Boom. That's me. What you got, Pat?
Okay. Oh, wow. All right.
So you calm down now?
I'm going to get real quick here. I got Ches Reavie at 45-1. I like that bet. Also, Scott Piercy at that same number. Also, a guy I didn't mention on the pod. He doesn't have great course history here, but he putts well on Poana greens, and that is Adam Hadwin at 70-1. I like him. And I like Dominic Bazzelli, also a long shot at 200-1. Finished T6 last week at the Sanderson Farms. So he is another play that I like. And then, if you want to go crazy, go nuts with a 4-man playoff at 33-1. Yes, DraftKings has that prop bet. Okay. 4-man playoff, 33-1. Guess, throw it out there. Play it. I like when I see a little crazy prop like that. So there you go. That is what I'm going to do.
I like it when the offerings get interesting. That's definitely I missed that somehow. I didn't even see that. That's interesting. 4-man playoff, 33-1, huh? Okay. Put a unit on that.
I don't know if you go full unit. Maybe go half.
A halvesy? A little halvesy unit?
Halvesy on that. Just
all right,
just throw it out there.
Tour Junkies After Dark, presented by DraftKings. Thanks for joining. We're going to go, and Pat is going to yell at me some more. But it's been a great night already. And if you haven't already, check out the podcast. You won't regret it. See ya!
Out!